Hey, welcome back, everyone, to Beyond the Feature. And I'm Dr. Patrick Jones. And today I'm on another field trip, right? I'm kind of extending on that idea of the work from anywhere. So today we're coming to you from a beautiful hillside out in suburban St. Louis. Just as an idea of work from anywhere is a beautiful concept because as long as you have the resources you need and can meet the goals of that project, you can do it from anywhere depending on how it is set up. So, but today, what we're going to talk about is three variables that tie in to the work from everywhere or anywhere, and that is time, space, and place. So, 20 years ago when I was in education, because I was a teacher and an administrator before my life in technology. Back then, technology was a passion. So Microsoft PowerPoint, had some of those asynchronous tools where you can record your PowerPoint and things like that. And we would do presentations for other teachers about asynchronous training related to time, space, and place. And this was 20 years ago, right? Those variables haven't changed. But now the tools allow us to really extend upon that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down those three things. And it's tying into that architecture of awe, that book I wrote, which I talked about last week. And I'll next week, that's what the topic of the PowerPoint is, just to go, or the podcast is, just to go into more detail on it. I'm not trying to sell the book, but all the proceeds from the sales on Amazon, Architecture of Awe, go to funding my lavish lifestyle. Um, but seriously, it's just a little book. It's a thesis based on kind of the blending of work and passion based on historical. We'll talk about it next week. But this kind of is part of that, right? Time, space, and place with the work from anywhere. So let's start with time. So when you have the tools to be able to work from anywhere and the resource and the trust, because it really comes down to trust, both from the employer trusting you and you trusting the employer to protect your time and for you to actually put in your duty to get the job done. Time allows you to be the person you are. If you're a morning person, work early. When I was in education, I would get to the office 5 in the morning and get so much done before the kids showed up, right? Which is the idea. And then when the kids showed up, I could focus on that part of the job. I can get all the stuff where I didn't need to done early. I'm an early person. Shoot, the other day I got up at 2 and I was working, from 2 to 6 on just projects and stuff. Uh, so it's one of those things. It allows you. But if you're a night owl, you can do that too. But you have to understand time is also flexible because I have meetings, and depending on when they are available, I need to be available because I am the resource, right? I'm the contractor. I am the person they look out to help them with these things. So a lot of it is that flexibility, time. All right. So now let's break out into place. So place and space are similar but different. So let's talk about place. Again, I'm coming to you from a place. Can I get work done here? Yes, I'm doing it right now. Uh, the type of work is where place comes in, right? I can do it anywhere as long as I have an internet connection on this and a phone that has battery. I can do my podcast from this location. So place allows us that flexibility to go wherever we need to get the job done. I can be at a coffee shop like I talked about last week, on a beach, an airport in another country, because a lot of people take those international. I can't, but a lot of people take those international vacations down to Aruba or something, and still pick up. They can still be contacted for work when they're flexible if they want to. Um, but that's what place gives you is that you have that ability, right? Now let's jump into the next part, which is space. And this one's a little conceptual, right? Because your space dictates your work. When I'm at home, right, and I'm doing some SharePoint migrations or video editing or things of that sort, yeah, my space needs 3 monitors, quiet area to work, a lot of flexibility, a mouse that doesn't, goof up on me, things like that. That's my space. When I'm out here and I'm doing a podcast, I can do it from the hill. and I can do it from a phone. So my space is a lot more flexible. Uh, so it really comes down to finding that blend between the task of the job with the needs of the job with the resources that you have available. So that would be your space. Now, when you blend those three variables together, time, place, and space, that is the work from anywhere architecture that allows you to be productive, help other people, do what you need to do, and get your job done the best that you can. Because you're not isolated in one location, right? Place. I'm not at the office, focused right there, whether it's the most appropriate spot or not. I am not at the office from 9 to 5, whether that's my most productive hours or not. And space, right? I am not stuck with one monitor, ancient lighting. I can be as flexible as a phone if I need to be. I've been working all morning on it with communications and stuff. But if I have to do some productivity work, yeah, I need a computer, but I can schedule that. I can find my time to do that and work for that. If I have to do a meeting, yeah, I want to be in a nice location that's quiet to where I can do that, or a virtual background. I don't know. This one's kind of nice. Maybe I should have my meetings out here. Um, but that is the the element that work from anywhere brings is that flexibility. But again, I mentioned it earlier, it's about trust. That employer has to trust you, the employee, and the employee has to trust the employer because it's a mutual agreement. Like we talked about last week, there's an agreement of terms, right? Yes, you can do this if, right? IT will allow you to do that if you have those security measures in place. You have MFA, you have an encrypted line, you right? VPN, something of that sort, to where we understand and trust that you're not going to compromise our data. But the employee understands, yes, I will go through the authentication measures it takes to be able to work in a way that I am most productive. Not slacking off and not, hey, I'm farting around, but in a way that makes you the most productive. Working early, working late, working when you need to, but also not working when you can't. Um, but that's the blend. So time, place, and space. Like I said, 20 years ago, this was the conversation we were having. It the tools were not where they are now, but they were there, right? The vision was there. This isn't something in isolation. And like we'll talk about with architecture of awe next week, this is 2,400-year-old concept. It is not original to me. It is not original to our generation. We have the tools to maybe prove scientifically that that thought process is pretty darn accurate, but um, I don't want to blow it. We're going to talk about that next week. Anyway, for more about this, we can go to beyondthefeature.com. That's the website where all this is at. Make sure you follow our podcast, all that fun stuff, hype it up. Subscribe to it if you like it. Share it if you think this will be beneficial. And make sure that if you need anything else, drpjj21.com is my website. There's more there. And then also Olympus Academy Press. That's where all my books are. So many of you know I write a lot of books, technology books, passion books, just for things. I'm an educator, right? I like to learn things, and then when I learn them, I have to teach people why they're so cool. So that's what I do. So you can go to olympusacademypress.com, and that's where I have all my books listed, or most of them, not all of them. But you can find me on Amazon too, like Architecture of Awe. That's on Amazon. A lot of my passion pieces I don't put on the website just because whether they're fiction or just fun. But again, that's what time, space, and place allows, is you have the ability to explore some of those passions because you're working in a time when you can, right? And you have that flexibility, and it allows you to be the most productive and the best person you can be. So anyway, beyond the feature, love us, like us, subscribe to us, uh, and support us. So anyway, thanks. Talk to you next week.